Today we're going to take a look at another G.I. Joe inspired O-ring toy line from the 90s. This time, it's Olmec Toys' 1997 Bronze Bombers 12-pack. Now this line could be considered more closer to a knockoff due to its close ties with Hasbro, which we'll get into when we take a closer look at the figures. So stick with me, we'll take a look at these soon. So taking a look at this closer up, so this actually was not Olmec's first attempt with the Bronze Bombers. Actually, the line initially debuted in 1988 with figures featuring much closer to the straight arm 1982 G.I. Joe figures. This line was only around for 1 year before they came off the shelves, but still featured some good characters, not maybe as memorable as the ones in this set, but if you notice, so Olmec Toys' whole purpose was basically to create inclusivity toys. Their most famous creation, of course, many of you might know, is Sunman, an alternate to He-Man, who is now actually in the He-Man universe. But for us Joe guys, the Bronze Bombers is where we know Olmec Toys from. So this set came out in 97. Had 12 figures, which were pretty much all molds that they had purchased from Hasbro. So this set coming out kind of in the later 90s when Joe wasn't as popular on shelves. You know, the Real American Hero collection had kind of just come back at Toys R Us. This was kind of one of the few options. It was pretty affordable. I believe it was only $15 back in 97. So for 12 figures and accessories, wasn't a bad deal. The other unique thing is not very often did we get to see 12 figures in a set. So, yeah, so taking a closer look, basically got 6 figures on each row laid out. You can see the whole thing, Bronze Bombers logo, Enforcers of Justice, which is a name change from what it was in 1988. It's got some accessories here, which we'll kind of get into when we open this. This has been opened before. But it is complete. Let's see if you notice the tape on the back here, which is cool. Then we have individual file cards for each of the characters. So you notice in this 12-pack, we've got 8 of the Bronze Bombers and then 4 of the Band of Thugs, which I think are probably the 4 standout figures from this set. Just on the sides of the packaging, just continue to have kind of the same character profiles. I'm really glad to have gotten this set. This set has become increasingly pricey in the past few years, and it has definitely become a more sought-after item. So we're going to take these figures out of the packaging now and kind of take a closer look and kind of see, are these good? Are these figures up to G.I. Joe par, or are they just kind of fall short like some of the other brands? So before we take each of these figures out of the tray, once you pull the tray out of the box, you'll notice there are these little shield cutouts that are included. I was not aware that these were actually in here. And something else that I was not aware of is there is actually this poster, which is really cool and something that I did not know was actually in here, but it has copies of the file card and then a little bit, a little diorama showing with the shields, and then a little blurb, saying that the Bronze Bombers are back and better than ever. These fully posable 3 3/4 action figures are patterned after the American 369th Infantry of World Wars I and II. Shields, water gun, and weapons pump accompany these superheroes. They battle the evil fire-starting pyros. Accessories may vary. So just something cool that I wasn't actually aware of that came in this, and I'm sure unless you bought this new, these probably get lost pretty often. So we're going to take a look at the figures now, but just something cool that I thought we would mention. All right, so I opened these guys up, and what do I think? They are basically Real American Hero figures. They are They have the same feel. They feel like the same plastic. I mean, basically, other than just the heads, they are a real American hero figures. We'll take a look at just some of the accessories real quick because those are all reuse. You've got some of these pistols, which are reused from the Track Viper and the Nitro Viper. You got the Tele Viper's rifle, the rifle that came with the Frag Viper, Darklon's machine gun, whatever. And then you've got 3 of these Eco Warriors backpacks. So all Joe accessories other than the shields, which I looked at earlier, but I'll probably keep these on this cardstock. So what about the figures? Basically, you got 12 figures. Most of them, the molds are reused at least twice with different heads. I think the heads all came out pretty good. We'll just take a quick look. This one kind of using the Strato Viper body with a different waist. You got this one here, which is the skid mark body, which looks a lot better without some of those, brighter colors for those of you that aren't fans of the neon stuff. This guy, he's got the Darklon body. Got this guy. Off the top of my head, I can't think of which Joe parts this is. I'm sure it'll come to me in a minute, but off the top of my head, can't remember. I'm just going to set him down. But this guy, I believe he is the leader of the Bronze Bombers. Could be wrong, but from what I gathered looking at the file cards real quick, I've got this guy. Really like the blue. Got this guy. Again, off the top of my head, I can't place the body. I know it's reuse, but can't remember which one. Here's another one using the skid mark. And then I think the 4 best figures on this set, and the ones that people are going to probably, people that clamor over, and the ones I see the highest secondary market are the 4 villains. So we've got this basically full reuse of Darklon here, in just this really cool black and gold. He is the leader of the bad guys. So really cool figure. This really rad repaint of the Strato Viper. He could definitely fit in as a member of Cobra still. Maybe as a special Strato Viper, or almost a second version of Wild Weasel if you wanted. Got this version of the reuse of the Motor Viper. I believe that's what he was called. Yeah, really cool. And then we've got this reuse of the Secto Viper with the removable helmet and everything. Yeah, definitely. I mean, these figures, they feel like Joe figures. I mean, they feel like Joe figures. They are Joe figures, basically, with new heads. I mean, I guess when you purchase the molds, the rights to use the molds from Hasbro, you better have them pretty close to what you were, trying to get the figures from. So, yeah, it's a really cool set. There were some legal issues. There's some controversy with the owner and kind of some of the factory conditions and everything. I'm not going to go into that. You can look that up online if you want to. But needless to say, this era of the Bronze Bombers only lasted for 1 year. Pretty much Olmec Toys kind of died down after that point. And a lot of these molds that they owned were lost, which is a shame because some of these molds are, really good classic G.I. Joe molds. But yeah, it's a really cool set. You know, not very often do you see 12 figures in one set, but you know, that also is going to increase the value because, you know, you're not just buying one figure, you're buying 12. But I would definitely, if you can find these, get them for a reasonable price. I would highly recommend them. I think these are great in, even if you're, you know, you just want the 4 that are really just basically straight up Joe repaints. I think they would look great on your Cobra shelves. I think they'd look great on anybody that's kind of 3 3/4 inch military scale. Yeah, I mean, they're really cool toys. Definitely a grail piece that I'm glad to own my own of, one that I'm glad to put on my shelves. So yeah, let me know. Have you ever, do you have any of these Bronze Bomber figures? Do you have any of the older ones from '88? Let me know. Let me know what you thought of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.